Are you learning English but find it difficult, confusing, even mysterious? Well, don't worry. On this show, I'll answer your questions about the English language and help you solve your English mysteries. It's Hardboiled English Live. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Teacher Paul, your language detective. Actually, I'm an English instructor, but on this show, we take the hard-boiled approach to language learning. No fancy tricks, no magic formulas, no 5 easy steps, just the hard-boiled facts about this language. We're here broadcasting live from the Hardboiled English Media Studios in Vancouver, Canada. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on WK in Russia, we're on Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, soon to be on LinkedIn. We're working on that. So welcome, guys. The format of this show is simple. You ask me questions about English that confuse you or you've always wondered, and I'll do my best to answer them right here live. If I can't answer them, I assure you I'll go away and do some research, and I'll get back to you on the answer in the following show. Hopefully, this will help you better understand the English you're learning. First of all, I'd like to say welcome, and to get started, as we get our viewers joining us, please go to the comment thread, wherever you are, on Facebook or YouTube, and just say hello from your country. We really want to get a sense of where you are, where everyone is, what country you're in, what language is your first language. And we usually get a nice range of viewers watching our show from all over the place. So hello to Robin Cardillo. Robin doesn't say where she's from, but Bargain Betty 99 is with us. Bargain Betty is from the moon. So she's far away, but our broadcast somehow reaches her. Quite magic. We also have Jorge from Mexico. Welcome again, Jorge. He's a regular viewer. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully everyone's doing well wherever you are. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. We have Jorge, Bargain Betty, Robin Cardillo's with us. Who else do we have with us? Please type your name or your name and the country you're watching from. We have Duka. She's from Japan. Welcome to the show. Must be early in Japan, so thank you for getting up early to watch the show. Robin Cardillo is from Toronto. That's in Canada, for those of you who don't know. Thank you for joining us, Robin Cardillo. And Bargain Betty's from the moon. Yep, that's great. We're going to find out one of these days where Bargain Betty is from. Anyways, we're approaching December. Well, we're in December, sorry, but we're approaching Christmas season. In some countries, that's a pretty big deal. It's the longest and most important holiday in some cultures. Here in Canada, everyone looks forward to it because it's a time when your work shuts down, you get the days off regardless of your job. Generally, there are some of you who will be working that day, but that's okay, we appreciate it. Doctors, nurses, hospital staff, police officers, first responders, firemen, fire persons. Everyone's working on Christmas Day. But it is a big deal because everyone gets together and celebrates the time together. We have Aya's Notes with us. Aya's Notes is also a YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked out her vlog on YouTube, check it out. It's called Aya's Notes. So yeah, let me just update things. We're planning a special 2-hour show on Friday, the 18th of December. Now, I don't have the poster yet for it, but I'll post that soon. And on that 2-hour show, we're going to have special guests. We're going to have hopefully a musical guest. We're going to have a special guest from Thailand, a teacher there who's doing some very interesting work with puppetry. So we're lining up some guests for a 2-hour Christmas special, and then we'll have a 2-week or 1-week break. Details will follow. If you haven't already, don't forget, I'm the host of several video series on my YouTube channel, Hardboiled English, Teacher Paul's Hardboiled English. So if you go to YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and check out our videos there. The main series is English Weirdness. This is a long-form series that I make with my students. They star in it, they do all the technical work with me, and it's a really fun project. And you can learn a lot about the mysteries of the English language. I've also begun a new series called English Confidential. Now, there's only one episode up on the YouTube channel so far, but in this series, we explore the problematic English that native speakers use. Native speakers don't all speak perfect English, and unfortunately, you language learners sometimes pick up some bad habits from them. So in this series, it's kind of a funny, tongue-in-cheek series aimed at native speaker mistakes. As well, if you need extra help with your English learning, I am available for private lessons. So if you want to find more about that, including costs and schedule, you can go to my personal website, teacherpaulsclassroom.com, and please send me an email from the website and tell me what you need as far as private lessons go. Well, let's go back to the chat box and see who's joining us. Okay, we're slow to join tonight. That's fine. Oh, who do we have with us? We have Catrielli from Brazil. Catrielli, nice to see you with us. Welcome. Great. Got a nice group of people joining us from different parts of the world. Catrielli, can you just type in where you're from? I mean, I know where you're from, but it would be nice if all the viewers could find out. We like to get a sense of who's joining us from where. But thank you for joining us. I think this is your first time with us, right? Anyways, nice to see your name pop up. So the format of the show is simple, guys. Just type in your questions about English if something is confusing you or there's something you always wanted to know. And I'll do my best to give you an answer. I don't know everything, of course, but I'm pretty good at figuring it out, even if I don't know. So joining us so far, we have Jorge, we have Duca, we have Bargain Betty from the Moon, we have Robin Cardillo from Toronto, we have Aya's Notes from Vancouver, and we have Catrielli from Brazil. So yeah, put in your questions and I'll do my best to answer them. And again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Teacher Paul's Hardboiled English. And there you can also find our latest episode of English Weirdness, which is all about verb transitivity. And by the way, there's another episode coming soon, probably early January. These videos take a long time to prepare, months sometimes, so bear with me. Also on the YouTube channel, you will find the recordings of every live show. After the live show is done, I clean it up, trim the beginning and the ending off. We don't need the countdown on it, and then post it on the YouTube channel. Okay, so we have somebody from South Korea, but I don't see your name. Can you write your name from South Korea? Because I can't read Hangul, and I doubt my viewers can. So greetings from South Korea. Thank you for joining us. But can you just type your name so I know what to call you? Who are you from South Korea? Thank you for joining us. We're just getting warmed up here. So what questions do you have, guys? What do you want to know about English? Are there vocabulary questions, pronunciation questions, grammar questions? I'll do my best to answer whatever's on your mind or whatever your questions about English are. And usually we have a range of viewers with us from different levels of their English learning experience. We have beginners, intermediate, advanced students, even some students who use English for their job now. So we get all kinds of great questions. So please type in your question in the comment thread, or just say something on your mind in the comment thread. We can begin a discussion maybe. You know, this is a live show. It's open. There's no plan. There's no script to it. It's up to you. So if there's something you want to talk about, let's talk about it. If you're just joining us, please say hello and put your name and the country you're from in the comment thread. The other thing I want to mention to you guys is we do these shows usually on Thursday evening in Vancouver time, which is 5 p.m. in my time right now. That's morning in Asia. So we've been experimenting with Friday evening shows so that people in Asia can join us on their Saturday morning when they're not working or at school. Juan from Argentina, welcome to the show. Great of you to join us. Catrielli says, my English is so broken, it's been a long time since I spoke English. I'm sorry to hear that, but I don't believe it, Catrielli, because as I recall, your English is fantastic. Very smart person, very good English. So, although there's some punctuation things we could talk about in your caption, so the evil comma is getting in the way. Duca has a question. Let's put Duca's question up and get a look at it. So Duca says, what is the difference between social distance and social distancing? That's a good question. It's also timely because, of course, all around the world, we are hearing this expression because of the COVID pandemic we're all involved with. So we have two structures here. Now, first thing I'd like to say about them is they're both fine. They're both perfectly acceptable expressions. They're perfectly grammatical. They make sense. But they communicate a slightly different idea. And usually with English, this is the problem. This is why it's confusing. A lot of times, learners want to think it's either correct or incorrect. But the fact is, there's a lot of expressions that are both correct, but they communicate different meaning. And, you know, when you're learning a language at the beginning, you want simple rules, you want simple truths, yes or no, right or wrong, to hold on to, because you're struggling to hold on to the language. But the truth is, as you get more advanced in your English understanding, you'll notice that there's a lot of ways to say the same thing. There's a lot of different grammar structures. And if they're different, they communicate something slightly different. Now, I always recommend trying to identify the parts. So, by the way, Juan Manuel is asking today what today's topic is. Today's topic is open. It's an open floor. No topic today. So whatever you'd like to know, we can talk about it. So yeah, we have two structures here. They're both grammatical. They're both fine, but they communicate something different. So let's go back to the basics and identify the parts and identify the types of words they are. I think we can see clearly that social is an adjective. We have this little ending, which is typical, right? The AL ending is typical of adjectives. Now this, distance, can be a verb or a noun. If we have an adjective in front of it, I'm guessing it's a noun. In fact, I know it's a noun, but it can be a verb, okay? Keep that in mind because it's going to come up. So what does this mean? What is the noun meaning of distance? Well, the word distance means the measurement of space between one thing and another, right? So we could say there's a large distance between Vancouver and Brazil, where Catrielli is. It's a huge distance, many, many kilometers. That distance is great. It's long. Distance means the measurement of space, okay? What do we have here? We have social again, which is an adjective, and then we have distancing. Now this one is the tricky one. This one's the interesting one. Distancing with the ing ending is what we call a gerund. Now some people think it's a verb. It's not a verb anymore. It's a verb when you have the be verb with it, like I am distancing right now, or I am standing, or I am broadcasting. With the be verb, it's a verb. But when you take away the be verb, but keep the ing, it becomes something different. It has a different function in the sentence. It's called a gerund. And I want you to think of a gerund as a noun. It acts as a noun. Okay? Just like if I say standing, teaching is hard work, right? I'm describing the thing I'm doing. When you use a gerund like this, it becomes the name of the activity. The name of the activity, just like standing, teaching. It's the name of the activity. It's not the same as this. This was the measurement of space between two things, the distance. This is not that meaning. This is the name of the activity. And you can kind of see that because it used to be, the ing is built from the verb form. Okay, I said here that distance could be a noun or a verb. You take the verb form and put an ing on it, it becomes a gerund, but it's built out of the verb form. But once it's a gerund like this, it can act as a noun. So it could be the subject of your sentence. It can be the object of your sentence. So these two expressions are slightly different. This one is telling us social distance, the measurement of space. This one's telling social distancing, the name of the activity, the name of the action of keeping that space. So how do we use them in a sentence? Let's flesh them out. You might hear this these days. Please maintain. Right? Please maintain. And this is a verb, maintain, or let's say keep. Please keep social distance. Please maintain or please keep that distance, that measurement between you and someone else. This isn't going to work like that. You might say, please practice social distancing. Please practice that action, that activity. That is now the name of an activity. Okay? It's the name of the activity. It's not the measurement, right? It's not the measurement anymore. It's the name of the activity. That is the meaning of measurement. So grammatically, this is a noun. It's functioning as a noun. So it could be the object, or it could be the subject. This is also a noun. So grammatically, these sentences are almost the same. The difference is meaning. Gerunds mean the name of the activity. Swimming, teaching, right? Broadcasting, asking. These are names of activities. So they're nouns, but they don't have the same meaning. This has the meaning of measured distance. Okay? Duka, I hope that answers your question. That's a really good question. It also points to the challenge of learning English. Sometimes you are taught to think in terms of grammar only, but as you get higher in your education of English, you also have to think about meaning differences, because sometimes two different grammar structures are both fine, but the meaning's different. Let's have a look at what else we have here. Let's look at Jorge's question. If I want to refer figures to a specific date, I have seen the usage of as of and at. And I get confused, should be I get confused with as of, because I think as of means a starting point. Yeah, as of does. As of Saturday, I'll be home. So, as of Saturday, I'll be home. That means, if you look at a timeline, and here's Saturday, it means now you are not home. But as of Saturday, not Friday, right? Not Friday morning, but as of Saturday, starting on Saturday, you will be home. As of Saturday. If we talk about a time like Saturday, we can't say at. We can say on. You can say on Saturday, right? Because days we use on. At we use for time. At 10 p.m. on. But these have a different meaning of as of. As of means starting on Saturday into the future with no end expressed. We don't know the end. There may be an end, but you're not communicating that, Jorge. At means at 1 o'clock. Something happens. And that something might last 1 second. At 1 p.m., the fireworks go off. Right? They're going to last 10 minutes. At 1 p.m., something happens. That something could be short. It also could be long. You could say at 1 p.m. Saturday, I start my new job. Right? At 1 p.m., I start my new job. That means this, right? At 1 p.m. on Saturday, you start your new job and hopefully you continue. But that depends on the verb, what the verb is expressing. The only thing, this is an adverb, right? This is the time adverb. The only thing at time expresses is something happens at that time. As of expresses something differently. If I say as of Saturday, it does express something continuous. So if you're using at or on, we need to really look at the verb, right? Because I could say at 1 p.m., I eat dinner. Well, if I eat dinner at 1, I'm not going to eat dinner for the rest of my life. That's crazy. I might eat dinner for 15 minutes. I'm a pretty fast eater, so maybe even 10. All right? Hopefully that explains it, Jorge. Does that clear it up? Jorge's got an add-on here. Okay, figures at December 31st doesn't make sense because there's no verb here, first of all. You're just saying figures at. And by the way, it should be on December 31st when you give a date. But as of December 31st means from December 31st forward, right? So if you have statistics or figures, I think Jorge's an accountant, you should say as of December 31st and forward, right? Into your next fiscal period. But if you say on December 31st, not at, unless you have a time, okay? We use on for days, okay? Which include, Saturday or a complete day like on Saturday, December 31st, okay? At is for time, right? Time would be like 1 p.m. Since you wrote December 31st, 2:20, there's no time here. Well, it's a day, but it's not a time of the clock. So don't use at, first of all. And if you say on December 31st, something happens. So what is the verb, right? On December 31st, what? If you said something like, these figures are accurate on December 31st, that means only on that day, right? As of means from that day forward. Unless you have a verb that indicates forward movement, like on December 31st, I begin my new job. Now, the action of begin happens once, but the idea is that it continues, right? That's a good question, Jorge. Hopefully we cleared that up. What do we have next? Catrielli? Catrielli is asking about social distancing. How about that? I think this is not an English question. It's an... okay, Catrielli is asking a question. Are you social distancing? Yeah, okay, let's put that up. It's back to the... Do me a favor, guys. If you're writing an example sentence, put quotation marks in it so I know that that sentence is the example we should explore. Are you social distancing? First of all, Catrielli, yes, we are. Vancouver area, BC has done pretty well. Canada in general has done pretty well. We've been pretty low case count compared to the US, for example. And I think compared to Brazil, I've been working with a couple of Brazilian students recently, and they told me it's been crazy down there. So hopefully all your family and friends are okay. But yes, we are social distancing. Okay. Now look at this. What if you said, are you social distance? Are you social distance? Well, no, I'm Paul. Right? That's a straight up noun. If you ask me, are you social distance? I would say, no, I'm a human being, actually. Last time I checked, I'm not a measurement of space. So this would be really weird. Totally weird. But if you say, are you social distancing? That makes sense because that is the name of an activity. That's an activity that I can do. And it's built from the verb, which is to distance from each other. So, yes, that sentence is correct. And yes, we are, well, let's put it this way, Catrielli, most of us are practicing social distancing. Juan Manuel has a good question. About different forms. Let me see his question. Sometimes have a harsh time when using adjectives such as economic, economical. Good. And they're even trickier because they're both adjectives, right? So, yeah, this is tricky. That's an adjective ending, but so is the IC ending. They're both adjectives. Now, what do they mean? Because they're both adjectives, you can use them the same way, right? You can say, it was an economic topic. Okay? What does that mean? It means related to economy, which is, economy we all know is the movement of money between persons or companies. That's the topic, economy. So economic topic would be a topic related to economy. Economical, so let's just define this, related to the economy. Economical means, well, I'll look it up in a second, but let's say efficient exchange of money. So it basically means economic exchange done well. In other words, cheap. Generally, we use this as a synonym for cheap, inexpensive, right? So if you say my car is economical, that means you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a lot from it. So it's efficient. It's not an expensive car and it does a lot of work. So you give a small amount of money and get a lot of value in return. That's economical, right? The idea of economy is that there's a fair exchange, mutually beneficial. You give money, you get a product. If you pay a lot of money for a car, let's say, and you pay a lot of money to buy the car, and then you drive the car, and it keeps costing you money because it takes a lot of gas, it drives a short distance before it needs more gas, maybe it needs a lot of maintenance, that's not economical because you're paying a lot and you're not getting a lot of value in exchange. It's not economical. It continues to be expensive. For example, if you own a sports car, you pay a lot of money for the Ferrari at first, but you have to keep putting money in. It costs a lot of money in high high premium fuel, a lot of money in maintenance. And if you have parts that break, you pay a lot of money in parts. It's not economical. Nobody buys a Ferrari because it's going to be cheap. They buy it because it's cool and beautiful and they want to drive fast. So economical means efficient exchange of money. So it's cheap. Related to the economy is economic. Now, I know this because I've used these words a lot. How does one know the difference? You're not really asking me what the definitions are. You're asking me, how can you tell? There's no simple solution to this. And this is the hard-boiled truth, Juan Manuel. There's no magic formula to this. You have to study. You have to learn the definitions. Now, if you learn the definitions of a couple of words like this, ik and al, you might start to notice patterns. Okay? You might start to notice that one means related to, right? Something with IAC might mean related to, right? Something with al might mean done in a good way, right? But I always say, and nobody wants to hear it, but it remains the hard-boiled truth, check the dictionary, right? Get a big, fat, juicy dictionary. I recommend Oxford because it's from Britain, and those crazy people made the language. I trust them. Check the dictionary if you're not sure. But you really have to just study these. And after a while, you'll notice some patterns, and you'll be able to determine for yourself. I can't say I've ever looked up in a dictionary the differences here, but I picked them up as I absorbed language over my lifetime. Now, obviously, you don't have as much time to use English as I have, but you will notice patterns if you study a little bit, okay? Catrielli has a question about the dates, so let's go back to that. So the correct phrase is on. Yeah, this is a good question. This is related to Jorge's question about as of and so on. By the way, Catrielli, I noticed that you're doing a lot of social media. You have a large social media following and presence these days. If you want to post a link and promote a website or a product or any project you're involved in, go ahead and share it with everybody, by all means, if you're working on something. Or if you have some social media you want to share with everybody, by all means, share it in the comment box. Now, so the correct phrase is on, yes, on December 31st, 2020, okay? And the reason is, okay, let me back up a sec. Okay, let's do it this way, guys. Let's build a sentence. 2020 is a year. If we're only going to say 2020, we say in 2020, okay? In years. And why do we do that? Well, let me explain it this way. In this cup, we have water. The cup is a container. Things can go inside it. I am in a room. You can't see it, but I'm in a room. I'm not on a room. I'm not for a room. I'm in it. The room contains me. On means, you know, the pen is on my hand. It's on the surface. So we think of it, and this is confusing because a year doesn't seem like a box or a cup that can contain stuff, but it is, because inside a year is a bunch of other stuff, right? Months, days, activities, experiences, festivals, holidays. Inside a year is a lot of stuff. So think of the year as a container. And when you're talking about years, you're in the year. In 2020, it's a container, okay? Now, what if we add a date? We can't be in a date. A date is a number. I don't want to get too deeply mathematical here, but you can't be in a number. So we have to change the preposition. Once there's a number involved, okay, it's on. Okay? On the 31st in 2020. Now, that's a pretty strange expression because I wouldn't just give you a date. I wouldn't give you a time. I'd need to give you a month, right? But I could say, you might ask me, Hey, when are you visiting me? I could say on the 31st. When are you visiting? On the 31st. I am visiting on the 31st. If we already know what year and month, we could say that. Okay? So let's keep building our sentence. On the 31st, 2020. Now, what if we add a month? Well, months are inside the year, and we have a date. So we're going to say on, again, on December 31st, 2020. Okay? Now, what if you add a time? You could add a time and say at 1:45 p.m. On December 31st, 2020 at 1:45 p.m. At is for specific times. Okay? So you are right, Catrielli. Your phrase is correct. Yeah, Catrielli hates these. Yeah. I understand that challenge. In your language, you have prepositions, but use them differently. So learning English is a matter of switching. Some languages don't have prepositions, so they don't have to switch. They just have to learn that they need to use them. So, okay. Okay, Jorge is asking another question about that date. Figures as at December 31st. Now, this is not going to work, Jorge. If you have figures that come from that specific date only that date, not as of, right? I said earlier that as of means 31st forward. If that is not what you're talking about, if you're talking about the figures came from that date only, well, listen to what I just said. You took the data from that date to whatever document you're showing. So these figures are from December 31st, okay? Or these are figures from December 31st. They came from December 31st, and now they're on the document, okay? Just like this information is from my head to you, right? What else do we have here? We have, okay, so Jorge, by the way, as at, just don't use that. That's not English, okay? As of works because it's an idiomatic expression, but don't use as at. That doesn't make any sense, okay? We have Louisa. Let's just put Louisa's comment on. It's not actually an English question, but I like the information. So Louisa's from Brazil. Catrielli is joining us for the first time. She's from Brazil too. By the way, what cities are you guys in? Catrielli, I forgot what city you're from. Sao Paulo? And how about you, Louisa? So Louisa says, yeah, we're not practicing social distancing. Good. And some people don't use face masks. Yeah, it's a problem. In Vancouver area, where I'm from, most people are using social distancing, but a lot of them aren't, right? And even if they don't get sick, they are spreading this virus all over the place. However, because we can't really rely on other people, our government has made a mandate for masks. So, for example, I live in an apartment building, and they made a rule in the building that even if we're walking down the hall, we're wearing a mask. And I think that's a good move because we have a lot of old folks living in my building, so got to protect them. I might not get sick. I'm fairly healthy, but I might pass it to some older folks. We have Gabrielle Maciel joining us. Gabrielle, Maciel, thank you for joining us. First time, I think, right? And where are you watching from, Gabrielle? Brazil? Mato Grosso. Is that Gabrielle's first comment? Okay. Yeah, let's put up Duka's question. We have a question about a hospital, since we're on this topic of social distancing and health and safety. Sounds like Duka works at a hospital. Is it correct to say I am working in a hospital at general surgery? Okay, so several prepositions. Catrelli, maybe this will help solve your mystery about on, at, in. I am working in a hospital. In a hospital. At general surgery. Ward. On, can you see that one? 9th, I'll just start here. Or let me start over. On 9th floor. Okay. This is a good question because there's several prepositions that we need to look at. We have in, at, on. Okay? Now, one of the confusing things about these is that sometimes students will ask me, which one's correct? For or on? In or at? Sometimes they're both correct. Sometimes they're both possible, but they communicate different relationships. Actually, one of our earlier shows, we had a preposition show. I can't remember which installment, but we focused on prepositions. Maybe in the future we'll have a preposition show all about prepositions. But let me just give you some basics. Prepositions have an important job to do. They connect nouns. They connect nouns to other nouns. They connect nouns to all other words. And they establish the relationship between noun and other stuff. So let's just a thought experiment. Let's imagine we're all ancient humans, cave people. We live in a cave. We kill our food every day and we eat it, and then we don't know where the next food is coming from. We're ancient humans. They looked around and they saw a bunch of stuff as the brain evolved, and they had objects around them. And they needed to explain the relationships. It's one thing to say something like, ugga, ugga, pen. What the hell does that mean? You talk to your cave neighbor and say, pen. Well, does that mean you want a pen? There is a pen? I like your pen? What the hell does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. But what if I said, or let's say, water. Ugga, ugga, water. What the hell does that mean? But what if I said, water, me. Water's a noun. Me is a noun. So what's the relationship, water, me? Does that mean like pour water on me? I want to drink water. I want to give you water. Let's go look for water. Right? What does it mean? If I say water in me, that's an idea. That tells us a relationship between two nouns. Water in me, right? Or if I say something like pen, that's a noun. Book, that's a noun. Pen book. Hey guys, pen book. What does that mean? It doesn't tell us the relationship. But what if I said pen under book? Pen under book. Now you have an idea. Now you have a relationship between these nouns. Okay? So prepositions connect nouns grammatically and at the same time express the relationships in reality, in space. Okay? Pen on book, pen under book, pen in book. I don't know why you would do that, but pen in book, pen with book, pen beside book, pen near book. You get the idea. So let's check this sentence. What does in mean? In means the relationship is one thing is in another. It's contained by the other thing. This water is in the cup. In the cup. The cup contains it. It holds it. 2020 is like a cup. It's a year. It contains months, days, experiences, stuff that happens. right? A hospital. Can you put stuff in a hospital? Does it hold stuff? Is it like a cup? Can it contain things? Absolutely. It contains people. It contains equipment. It contains rooms, floors. So yes, this is good. In a hospital. Absolutely. I work in a hospital. Now, if she said I work on a hospital, that would be like, here's the hospital building, here's the door, and she works on the hospital. Because on means on a surface, on the top of it. That's kind of weird. And if she's a doctor or a nurse, she can't help her patients because they're in the hospital, right? So you don't want to be on the hospital. However, is it correct? Well, it's grammatically correct to say that. You can certainly say I am on the hospital, but that's what it means. So if that's happening, like maybe you're taking your break and there's a patio or a balcony on the roof, go ahead and say that. Hey, Duca, where are you? We have a surgery. Well, I'm on the hospital roof taking my break. That's possible, but that is what it means, okay? But a hospital is a good example because it's basically a building. It's a big box, so it certainly can contain things. At general surgery. What does at mean? Well, at identifies something in its general location, right? If you arrive to my city at the airport and you phone me and say, hey, Paul, where are you? I want to meet you. I just arrived. I'm going to say I'm at work because my friend wants to know where in the world I am. What's the most general location? I am at work. Where are you? I'm at the airport. Okay, I'm at the airport. That's the location in the world. Now, it's also true that my friend is in the airport. That's true also because the airport can be described as a box where people are in it. That's true. But it's also a box sitting in the world. So if you want to describe the general position in the world, use at. But it's also true that you could describe it as yourself being in it. Okay? But think of how vague that can be. If my friend phones me and say, hey, Paul, where are you? And I say, I'm in work. Or let's say, I'm in my building. Well, there's a lot of buildings in a city. Which building are you in? In doesn't tell me much. But if I say I'm at my building and I give the number, then it becomes more specific. So both are possible. So what is general surgery? Well, general surgery is a ward or a department inside the hospital. Hospitals are big, right? So we want to know where in the space, where in the general bigger space, right? Where in the world is the airport? I'm at the airport. That's in the world. So this works at general surgery ward. However, I would also recommend putting the article, the general surgery ward, because it's the only one. And then the next preposition is on. And then we have the ninth floor. And again, ninth floor is a noun. Prepositions connect nouns. General surgery ward, ward's a noun. Prepositions connect nouns. Hospital is a noun. Prepositions connect nouns. Keep that in mind, guys. That is their function. So the ninth floor, right? The ninth floor. She works on the ninth floor. A building is basically a big structure, and in that structure, there are floors. And floors are surfaces, right? Usually flat, hopefully. Usually flat, right? They are surfaces. And you can be on that surface, and you can walk. You can walk left and right on the surface. By the way, that includes the top floor. She could be on the surface walking back and forth. This is important. Surfaces are almost always used with on. Let me give you another example. I'm going to erase this now. But all those prepositions are just, well, they're perfectly used. Look at this example. Duca is on the ninth floor. I know it's not really the ninth, 1, 2, 3, but let's pretend it's the ninth, okay? She's on that floor. That's true. On the ninth floor. Is that true? Yeah, she's on the ninth floor. What if I said in the hospital? Is she in the hospital? That's also true. The hospital is a big box and it contains stuff. It contains people, equipment, stuff. So it's also true. So you can say this, you can say this, on the ninth floor in the hospital, right? And where is the hospital in the world? Well, we could also say it's at, you could say at the hospital. So if somebody phoned her and said, hey, where are you these days? Where are you right now? In the world. I don't know where you are. I can't see you. You're nowhere in front of me. Where in the world are you? Oh, I'm at the hospital. Now, she's not expressing this picture. So when you hear that, you don't have this picture. You have a building in a big city. So remember, communication's like creating a picture in your listener's mind. And each expression creates a different picture. In the hospital, looks like this. A box in the hospital. On the ninth floor. At the hospital means in this world, in this city, where are you? I'm not at the mall. I'm not at the airport. I'm at the hospital. So they're all true at the same time, but they're communicating a different relationship in space, right? Could we say on the hospital? Yeah. If she's up here, yeah, that's true also. So if you're asking me which grammar is correct, they're all correct. But they communicate a different idea. They communicate a different relationship, right? Now, I want to take this idea and just push it a little further to help you with your prepositions. Because here's one that always gets people crazy. Teacher, why do we say in the airplane instead of on the airplane? Or why do we say on the airplane instead of in the airplane? Remember I said we use on to communicate our relationship with surfaces. Surfaces are flat surfaces that you can walk back and forth on, right? So an airplane, terrible airplane, sorry. But what's your relationship to the space of an airplane? It's true that you're in it, you're contained by it, but your relationship really is one where you can stand up and walk. First of all, to board it and get to your seat, but you can get up and go to the washroom. If you're on a long flight, you might do that often. You're able to move on that surface. So your primary relationship with that object is one of a surface, okay? You're on the plane. You can also say, I'm on the bus. Terrible bus. But if you're on a bus, guess what? You can walk back and forth. Your relationship to that bus has nothing to do with the ceiling or the walls. Your main relationship is with the floor. And the floor is a surface, right? On the ninth floor. It's true that you might be in that room, but your main relationship is with your feet and the floor. No floor, you're falling down to the ground, right? So with buses, trains, planes, hell, surfboards. If you're a surfer, you're on the surfboard, right? You're on that surface. That's your relationship. That's the thing that protects you from the sharks. And if you wanted, you could move a little bit forward and a little bit back. Sometimes the longboarders actually do that. They walk to the front and maybe hang their toes here, right? They are able to move. So if your relationship is with a surface, you're on it. Surfboards, skateboards, on a skateboard. Internet. We don't go in the internet. Our relationship with the internet is on the surface of our screen. So we say, I'm on the internet. You don't go in it. Feels like you do, but your relationship is with the glass screen. So that's a surface. The information is on it. So Duca's question is good because it opens up this topic of prepositions. Now, we're running out of time, guys. We're about 5 minutes from the end, so I may not be able to answer any more questions, but let's see if we have a shorty. Who are you looking at? Tolkien? Juan, okay. Juan Manuel is talking about the genitive structure. Okay, I'm going to do this one quickly. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail, Juan Manuel. I'll tell you why. Because on my YouTube channel, Hardboiled English, Teacher Paul's Hardboiled English, there is a video completely explaining this. I wish I had the link here. I don't. Actually, let me see this. I think I can find the link. Bear with me one moment, guys. Okay. So, Juan Manuel, I put the link in the chat thread. That will take you to a long-form video. It's 30 minutes long of my series, English Weirdness. In that series, we really examine 30-minute episodes, really digs into this topic. So I'll explain it briefly, but I want you to watch that, okay? And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, but please watch that. It really explains it well. And it's a common mistake. Buildings construction or building construction, they're both fine. They're both grammatically accurate, but they're different, right? This is a possessive. This is a possessive, right? This is a pen. I'm Paul, 2 nouns. This pen is owned by me. I possess it. So I could say, this is Paul's pen, right? I own it. I bought it. This is not a possessive. This is a noun plus noun, right? It's a noun plus noun structure. And by the way, this is really common in English. Really common. Think about it. Water cup, teacup, water bottle. 2 nouns. I don't know. Computer mouse, computer screen, backpack. We have a lot of these structures in English. When we do a noun plus noun, the first one takes on the characteristics of an adjective. We're using that as an adjective. We're not expressing possession. We're telling us what type. So if I say, hey, look at that construction. What type is it? Oh, it's a building construction. It's not the building possessing the construction. It's the type, right? If I say teacup, coffee cup, what type of cup is it? Is it a water cup, a teacup, or a coffee cup? It's a coffee cup. A cup used for water, right? That's a very common structure in English. So I want you to watch the video because there's better examples, including some funny ones. But this is a very common example, a very common grammar structure in English. The apostrophe S is possessive. So the first thing is, this noun has to have the ability to own something. Now, Paul's pen, I have the ability to own something. I have money in my pocket, I can go and buy a pen. Can a building own construction? That's a little weird. So this might be a more appropriate and accurate statement. You might say, the building construction is beautiful. What type of construction is beautiful? The building construction. Okay, the first thing you need to know is this able to possess something? Okay, check out that video. It has a much better detailed explanation. Louisa? Yeah, okay, we have Louisa's question. Yeah, I think this will be our last question. Yeah, so this is a common expression. It is an idiom. Leave no stone unturned, or to leave no stone unturned, or tell someone, hey, leave no stone unturned. It means to check, study, or, you know, in the case of police, investigate thoroughly. Do you guys know the word thorough? It means very, 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 very well, right? So, investigate, study, check well. Really, don't give up. Check everything. Check every possible possibility. So, if you know somebody who's been murdered, the police will come to your house and say, oh, what happened here? And we don't know, somebody murdered my friend. Do you want the police to go, okay, you know, I'll look in the neighborhood, then I'll go home? Of course not. You want the police to investigate every day, every hour, every month, until they find the bad guy. You want them to investigate thoroughly or well. You want them to check every stone. So this is a metaphor, meaning, and it probably comes from ancient times when people looked for food under the stone, right? So the idea is that you're lifting stones on the ground and checking what's under it. Okay, so what if I told you, hey, I can't find my wallet. I put it under a stone in our cave. I know that's stupid, but we're living in a cave and there's lots of stones and I lost my wallet. I remember putting it under a stone. Well, I'm not going to check one stone and go, I check one stone. I don't know where my wallet is. Can't find it. Oh, well, nap time. Of course not. You want to check every stone. So you want to turn every stone and check what's under it. So this expression means to do something really, really thoroughly, right? Check everything. Investigate every possibility, right? We want our police to check every possibility. If it's a murder, we want them to check every possible suspect, every possible piece of evidence, right? We don't want to check one stone and then leave the others unturned, right? So, hopefully that answers your question, Louisa. So I'm just going to go down the list and say thank you to all those who participated. Let's go to the top and just go to see who joined us tonight. Well, as usual, we had Robin Cardillo. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Bargain Betty 99 from the moon. Jorge from Mexico. Thank you. Aya's Notes from Vancouver. Thanks for joining us. Catrielli from Brazil. Thank you for joining us. I'm really happy to see you here, Catrielli. And I love what you're doing in social media. Juan Manuel from Argentina. An unknown friend from South Korea joined us, but I couldn't see their name in English. Couldn't read it. Jorge from Mexico. Catrielli we have. Juan Manuel from Argentina. Duca from, I think she said Japan, yes. We also had joining us tonight Luisa Katz from Brazil also. We had Gabriel Maciel. I know Gabriel, he's a pilot, I think, but he didn't tell us where he is. Tolkien, I didn't see your country, so if you could just type in where you're from. Thank you for watching the show. I believe that's everybody. Oh, we have one more person at the end from Bangladesh. Mien from Bangladesh. Thank you. Gabriel's from Brazil. Okay, Catrielli, it is the Gabriel I'm thinking of, right? Suzanne's brother? Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. Yeah. And Nick Darwin. If I'm not mistaken, Nick, if you're still with us, as I mentioned, guys, on Friday, December 18th, we're going to have a special 2-hour show, live show. And if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have a special performance from Nick. Is it still okay, Nick? Hopefully. Nick's a fabulous singer-songwriter, musician from Brazil, and I love sharing his music with everyone. And by the way, Nick, if you want to put a link in the comments here for people to go and see your music, that's cool. But yeah, December 18th, we're going to have a special 2-hour show. We'll have question and answer time like this. We'll also have special guests. Hopefully Nick can play some music for us. Nick? And also we're going to have a special guest, a teacher from Thailand, who does special... he does amazing work teaching English to young people with puppets. So we may have a special guest puppet. Catrielli, maybe you can join our show one day and be a special guest actress. Woohoo! So Aya, thank you. Catrielli, thank you for joining us. That's all the time we have, guys. So next week, let's just recap. Next week's show will be on Friday also. It's not a full-time shift. I'm just playing with this because Friday night in Vancouver means Saturday morning in Asia. And I'd like to make a time spot that allows our Asian viewers to join us. So bear this in mind. I'll be advertising this on YouTube, Facebook, etc., Instagram. So please join us next Friday. As well, if you haven't already known this, I am available for private lessons if anyone needs some special help. Go to my website, Teacher Paul's Classroom. Send me an email from there. There's an email function. And we'll book a time for private lessons. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Just want to finally say thank you for joining me, guys. This is really fun. Those of you who do know me already know that I'm an English instructor and I love being in the classroom with my students. I have not been in my classroom since March. This is actually my home. I'm actually at my home studio broadcasting to you live. So this is allowing me to keep teaching people, which I love to do. I love making videos, but the problem with videos is usually it's me alone. This allows us to interact a little bit like you guys have a private class with me. But when we're all together and everyone's interacting, it's kind of like a virtual classroom. So I really enjoy this. And I really appreciate you coming. Hopefully I'll see you again. Nick Darwin says, yes, he's excited about it. He's going to play music for us. Woohoo! So that's December 18th. Next week on the show, I'll have a promotion poster I can give you and you can share it. Yeah, please mention to your friends if they're interested in learning English or they're struggling with their English learning, have them join the show. Everyone's welcome. Until then, guys, I want you to stay safe and stay cool and see you soon. Bye-bye.